Hello everyone from Senior Vitality. This is Jannell from Community Tech Network, and welcome back to our channel. So today we're going to talk about frequent notifications. So what are notifications? Notifications are essentially short messages that are coming from an app on your iPad or a feature that's in your settings. And so what kinds of notifications would you receive? Well, it just depends on where it's coming from. So, for example, you could be receiving a notification of a text from iMessage, for example. An email alert, like a notification from email. An alert for Amber Alert. It could be something within your reminders. Things like that. And so there are different kinds of notifications that you could receive. Now, where would they be located? How would you find them? Well, it just depends on what screen you're on. So for example, if you are here on your lock screen, it would look like this. It would be right in the center here. Now, if you were on your home screen, it would look differently actually. So let's go to our home screen. Your notification would actually receive in two ways. So one, it's actually by these numbers here. Right. All of those red circles mean that there is some kind of notification that popped up sometime on your screen, and maybe you didn't see it or something, but that's one way to know that there was a notification about those particular apps. Otherwise, it will actually show up along the top here. Here's an example. Just like this. It would show up on the top, and then it would go away after a few seconds. You notice how it slid upwards? It slid upwards actually to a separate screen called the Notification Center. And you could pull down that notification center onto your screen. To do that, you would place your finger along the top here, where the white space is, towards the center, and you would hold and drag your finger downwards. So there you see the notifications. If you ever wanted to clear them, you would either tap on them or you would tap on an X that shows up along the corner. In this case, I would have to tap it to open it or to get rid of it. Another important kind of a notification that you would receive, sorry, that was a mouthful, pickup. Another important kind of notification that you would receive is actually called a backup. Now, you may receive messages that say, your iPad has not been backed up in however many days. Now, what is a backup and why is it important? Well, to try to put this in a simple manner, a backup is when your iPad is actually making a copy of itself. So all of the things inside of it, all of the different settings, the different apps that you have on there, and all of the ways that you personalized it, all of it gets to be turned into a copy. And now you don't ever see that copy and stuff. It's all, I could put it in this way, it's all computerized, and so it gets sent up into the cloud. What is a cloud? It's basically an online storage space that's on the internet, and so your iPad makes a copy of itself and it saves it onto the cloud. In this case, the cloud storage space that you have on the iPad is called iCloud. So that is what happens when you do a backup. Makes a copy of itself, sends it up to the cloud. Now, why would you want to have a copy of your iPad? Well, I think in our situation, it would be especially helpful should anything happen to these iPads. Should they get broken, get stolen, there's a copy of it in the iCloud, so all you would have to do is receive a new one, and sign in to your iPad account, and boom, as if you had your old iPad before you, it would show up exactly the same way because it had a copy of itself. So how do you do backups? Well, there are a couple of things. First, you need to check out the settings. So let's go to the settings. It's that app right there. And we're going to go and search for iCloud, not backup. Backups are what happened within the iCloud, as I talked about earlier. So we're going to go there. That is located where your name is on the top. So go ahead and tap on your name. And you're going to go down on the right side to iCloud. Oops, tapped on the wrong thing. iCloud right there. Okay, so then you're going to go further down the page by pushing upwards. Push up until you see this, iCloud Backup. Let's check that out. So we go there. And here it is. So you'll see two things. One is this setting here that is probably switched on to green. Now, if it's switched on to green, that means that you are permitting your iPad to do backups and also to do it automatically. In order for that to happen automatically, you would have to make sure, and it says right here, that it would be connected to power. So that means that it's charging, that it's locked, that the screen is locked itself. It's when you press the power button for a quick second and it just turns black. And that it's turned on to with Wi-Fi. So if all of those three things are on, then it would automatically do the backup for you. Otherwise, you would have to go through these steps that we did in order to get to this page. Still make sure that it's connected to power, that it's locked, and that it's on Wi-Fi, and then tap this button, back up now. So again, it's important to at least check to make sure that it's automatically set on. I don't think there's really much of a risk for it to not be set automatically to have it on. So you just want to check to make sure within your settings that it's on and that you have it connected to power, have it locked, and that it's connected to Wi-Fi. So that way the backup can happen automatically. Okay, so what's another kind of notification that's important to know about? Well, another one is a software update. A software update it can be complex sounding, but let's try to put it also in more simplified terms. Software is kind of like the instructions that make the iPad work. All of the different apps and the cool things that Apple does, it's all within its software. And oftentimes, it needs to be updated. You can think of it as like an upgrade to that software. And so what do they do exactly? Why are they necessary? Well, it's important and it runs so that it could do security updates, fix bugs, and also provide you with the latest features. It's also important because otherwise your iPad will start to act kind of slow and funny, right, from the bugs that weren't fixed that the software update would have provided. And also, the more and more you avoid doing the software update, more apps would either be unavailable to you on the iPad itself, or you won't be able to install any new ones. So software updates are really crucial, especially with the security updates that they do. So that's the best way to also just be safe is by making sure that you have your security updates and keep all of your information protected. All right, so how do you do that? It's also within the settings. And actually, just from this screen that I have here, we're just going to go downwards on the left side here to where it says General. From General, you go to the very top on the right side of the screen, and it says Software Update. You tap there, and from there it will let you know whether or not you need a software update. If so, then it would actually show you kind of what I have. It would tell you the number of the update that this iPad iOS software would need. It would provide a bit of information about what it would look like. And then below here it says download and install. So if you wanted to do it then and there, you would just tap this, download and install. It would do it in that moment. Something else that you might want to check out is whether or not automatic updates are on. So you would go here, you would tap on automatic updates, and you would see if that toggle is on. And so how do you make sure that it works? Well, it would actually describe it to you here below where it says automatic updates. It says your iPad must be charging and connected to Wi-Fi to complete the update. So the only difference here between this and the backup is that it doesn't need to be locked. It just needs to be connected to power, charging, and then it's connected to Wi-Fi. When should you do updates? Well, a lot of people tend to do it within the nighttime. Or they schedule it actually. So sometimes when you receive that notification that comes up on your screen that says you need a software update, it will, show up here. There will be some options below that says to do it now or later, or to schedule the update. Okay, so, and the reason why I said nighttime is because generally that's when people are putting their devices away and getting ready for bed. So it just depends on, what your routine is. But overall, it's good to do the download and installation of the software update when you're not using the iPad. And that's because, it needs to work. It needs to work itself out. And then it will also restart. So it would turn off and turn on. And that could be really frustrating if you're in the middle of something and suddenly, your screen turns on and off because it's finishing the download and installation of the software update. Okay, so overall, if you see that notification that says you need a software update and it shows up just like I was showing you earlier up here or on your home screen, right, up here or here, then what you're going to do is choose to either do it now in that moment or later. And if you do later, you can choose to schedule it to a time that works for you. And again, I recommend that you would do it when you're not going to depend on using the iPad. Otherwise, you could do what I showed you, which is to you yourself, just ignore the notification and remember, that might be the other tricky thing, is to remember to do the software update manually. And that's how we did it. We went to settings. Just going back. We went to general. And then we went to software update on the top. And should it need one, you would just tap download and install. It would do it in that moment. All right, so that's it. Please do remember to do your backups, to do your software updates. And, if that's really, really challenging, then just at least set it up so that it does it automatically for you. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.